That I
Yeah,
do.
not specifically shield though. This is holy armor though, but it does very similar thing. This gives him +2 to his defense, like as a mechanics level thing. But it's basically that you can actually see this around him, like the glow of the holiness, or the glow of the unholiness in this case.
Yeah, I was thinking like Davros at the at very least, it's like some sort of magical protection. Well, he wouldn't know the specific spell, but yeah.
So as you round that corner, let me get some initiatives. I really miss my dice, and I still have not found them in all of my shit.
I got 12 for Jinx.
Gale got a 10.
And 5 for Davros. Nat 1.
Does Gale still have the highest passive perception? I think you guys are all like around 14 or so, and then Gale's at like 18 or 20.
Davros only has an 11.
13 for Jinx.
Yeah, and you said passive perception, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, Gale got a 13.
Oh wow, okay, okay. So really, you guys all have just sort of a mediocre level passive. Gotcha.
Yeah, Malshin had better, like, because he had like expertise in perception from being a ranger.
Yeah, that had to have been what psyched me out, but I can't believe I was still thinking of Malchin's passive perception. I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh yeah, Gale's got to be the guy who automatically like senses stuff first. So yeah, as you round that corner, you're going to basically see as these two women are fighting this. The first one kind of is like jumping up to strike into it. You see one of her blows kind of like almost deflect off of this green aura around the Minotaur. The second one, as the Minotaur is like reaching out towards that first, like leaps up behind him, and she's going to strike out into it. And you see as she pierces through, she is going to hit the Minotaur as her sword like sinks into it, and then it is going to strike back. Um, yeah, so as it like strikes back, it like grabs into the first one, and it's gonna like slam her against the wall. And she's not like broken and like cast aside, but you definitely see as she takes like a pretty horrendous wound. She is pretty well bloodied by that like slam into the wall, and then it just like brings back its elbow, like casting the other one off of it as it strikes into her, and she's going to kind of fly back down this hallway a little bit. And then it's going to go to Jinx.
Okay, I'll just run up here and then is it like very evident as I get closer that this figure on the ground is like dead, or would I have to use an action to like check?
I'll let you do a free action because in the long run, with most NPCs, 0 hit points is dead. I'll let you use your free action to do it because this will determine whether you could bring him back with healing. If you roll like poorly, he's dead. If you roll good, yeah, so I would say you basically check and find that he is indeed like dead. You like go to roll over his body. He's like slunched up over like almost on the side as if he was sleeping on his side. And you like go to roll him over to like look at his chest and like check him for a heartbeat like at his throat to see if his I can't think of what like that artery is, carotid artery. Like you go to check his carotid like for a pulse, and like as you roll him over, he's just got a massive like gore wound from one of those horns like going up into his stomach. You can see it like tore open his chest, and his rib cage is like opened up, and there's ribs like poking through his body. His internal organs are all just ruined.
Yeah, so like Jinx, as he's like rolling him over, is just gonna announce their arrival. Have no fear, the cavalry has arrived. Oh, looks like a moment too late. And then I'll go vicious mockery on the Minotaur. I'll say, I don't suppose you were responsible for this. Not gonna happen again. And it's 16 wisdom.
You just hear as it kind of looks back to it seems to be unshaken as it says, "You've arrived too late, and you will all fail."
Fair enough. And then yeah, that'll be it for my turn.
Let me ask, who in your party is currently wearing their broken ring?
I believe Davros has it on now. 'Cause he put it on for a previous conversation, has not taken it back off.
Gotcha. So let me change a little bit of how the Minotaur seems to have responded to Jinx. It was a little bit more of you've arrived too late to save your brother. You will all fail.
And then Terry's gonna run up and strike out at it.
Excellent.
2 for the first one, so it's probably not gonna hit. And then about a like dirty 20 on the second one.
Second one will be good then.
Okay, so I think it's 12 magic damage.
Excellent. Looks like we're go to Gale.
All right, yeah, moving up a bit. Let's see. I can. It's because it's a diagonal, but I can see like the Minotaur from here, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. If you threw like a normal spell, it might have like a little bit of extra defense from it. Like if you did like a fire bolt. But if you do a save, there's no difference.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna try a cause fair on it. It's a wisdom 6. Oh yeah, I'm gonna use that first actually. The War Mage one thing. Get the +1 to DC, so it's a 17. 1 minute?
Interesting move there.
Yeah, I mean,
What's
I
the
have.
action economy for that on when you go to use that? Like it's we didn't create an action economy, right? Or is it bonus?
No, it's just doesn't say like any action or bonus action. It just says you may overcharge the wand.
Gotcha. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, so I don't know if you noticed, but I passed Justin's wisdom before when I rolled around that level. The Minotaur has a +3. So had you chosen not to do that, it would not be afraid. But because it has a +3 and you chose to do it, the Minotaur indeed is immediately racked with fear.
Yeah, that's why I remember the wand, because I'm like, fuck, I need to use that. But yeah, I have the wrong spells prepared for this fight, I feel. Lot of area of attacks.
Oh no, area of effect is great. You guys are in a small tunnel. Um, so that should be good for you. What would you like to do with Bill?
He's gonna move up, but he's gonna have to shoot like with a bit of, because he can only get there. So I'm not sure like that should be very hard to hit from that corner, I think. But yeah.
That's the maximum of his distance, though.
Yeah, it's either that or, I mean, he could dash, so it could be better up next time.
Yeah, so I'd say in the long run, like this turn, he's gonna take like he's gonna lose a little bit of AC to the Minotaur for that wall. But in general, like, I mean, it's kind of weird because archers also tend to have access to things that make them ignore cover. But yeah, let's just see those rolls and see how it matters.
Oh yeah, let's see. Oh no, he's out of Hunter's Mark, so I can't use that. So yeah, just regular attacks. Don't think those will hit. A 6 and a 1.
Yeah, definitely not going to do it. And the first of the inspirations are wasted. What is that? Gail Nefrendel's going to go next here. How are you all looking on heals right now?
Davros has a few scratches, but otherwise he looks pretty good.
I still have those temporary hit points from way back when, so
Yeah, I think Gale will like a bit banged up, but like not too bad.
Neffy's going to run up into the fight, and I can't think exactly like something like what she would specifically say, but effectively, narratively, she's going to recognize that these two people who still are alive here, they are cultists, and they are brothers of Venom. They are members of the Brotherhood of Venom. So these are theoretically cultists who you all are in the same cult with. So she'll kind of like make a note of that, sort of saying something along the lines of like, um, you know, some coded message essentially saying, "Hey, we're also brothers of Venom, or in the Brotherhood of Venom." I can't think of what that creatively would be, but she kind of comes out there and like puts that out there, and it will go to Davros.
All right, so Davros is going to rush up as he sees some of the women's blows kind of not bouncing off. He's going to so kind of step around Jinx here and almost step over the dead one. He's just gonna growl like, you gotta hit him harder than that. And he's gonna take two swings with his great sword at the Minotaur. I think the one should hit with a 23. The other one is a 13. I assume a miss.
Yep, 13 woman.
Will deal 11 damage. Oh no, 15 damage. Sorry.
Excellent.
Um,
Ooh, will you roll two more d20?
sure. 6 and a 19.
When you rolled before, I said this poorly. Let's just roll damage for me again. Let's make it advantage was the first two that you rolled, and then that was the second attack.
Oh,
Because it's
sure.
afraid.
Oh, but I thought it was. Is it afraid of everybody or just Gale?
It's afraid of Gale, but it can see him. So I'm pretty sure you guys have advantage.
I don't think so, actually. I
Oh
think
no,
it's just
okay.
that
It's
he has
disadvantage.
disadvantage.
I think it has disadvantage if it attacks Gale, right? I always thought frightened was kind of
No, yeah,
general.
you're
At least.
correct. We're good there.
Okay. Um. Yeah, and he's gonna. I think just he runs up, stays up there in the fight. Um. Seamus, putting the fellow down, is going to run around. He does not want to get too close because this thing could probably fling him quite a ways, being a halfling. So he's going to try and just throw a dagger at it as it's hoping not to hit any of his companions crowded around it.
I do miss Nat 1's hit friends in the pathway. I think a 6 going to be a big ol' miss.
Yeah, that'd be a 12 to hit, so that'll definitely miss. So that's it for Seamus. He's keeping his distance.
That's definitely my favorite like house rule that we don't use anymore is like critical failures.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun. Guys, see as he pulls like a little vial out of like a tuft of leather that kind of sits at his waist. Oh, wait, my bad. The chicks go first. All right. So the two sisters of Venom kind of like rush up and kind of like one recovering from like being slammed into the wall, the other being thrown down the or like bashed down the hallway. They're both going to run up and like one drawing a dagger, one drawing a mace. Basically, like leap onto it. Each of them is going to hit with like one of their two strikes and get like deflected by the like green aura around it by one of their two attacks as well. But as they strike into it, they deal just a little bit more damage here, about 5 damage each. Again, the Minotaur is going to break out a vial and like chug some sort of substance from within it. I think pretty much everybody can see that it is some sort of a red substance. You can kind of make out that he is taking a healing potion. And then it is going to strike out at what, I got 5 targets right there. Oh, I don't know why I did those d6s. My bad. Um, one strike into Davros. Davros and Terry. Probably two worst people to attack. It is going to go reckless here, so this will be a normal straight attack. So this is against Davros. 6 is not going to be enough to hit, and against Terry, um, Terry's over 15. He's got a high AC, so
Yeah, he's like 18.
yeah, it's going to strike out into the two of them, and you see, as its attacks, like it's not being strategic. It's not like trying to do anything nearly as sort of artful as it did when it like slammed the two chicks into the wall and like bashed the other one off of its back. This thing just immediately sees as the numbers like change in the situation and going reckless is trying to take out two of the biggest swords and its immediate presence, and very much is leaving itself open to attacks as it does so, and it will go to Jinx. You guys now have advantage on this as it is reckless.
Oh, and it can roll for the frightened condition, like to remove it.
Need a 14, that'll do it.
So we've been exposed to Reckless pretty often. Is that just melee attacks against it gain advantage, or is that all attacks?
Attack rolls against it. It's advantage on all melee weapons for it, but it says but attack rolls against it have advantage. So yeah, I would stick with the same way I kind of narratively described it. It's recklessly attacking. You can just see holes in its defense basically as it's like swinging so hard that like its underarm becomes overly exposed from overly reaching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, okay. So yeah, I'll having like check this body and seeing this dude is dead or whatever. I'll go ahead and pull out the rifle at this point in time, and I will take a shot. Man, it's pretty low. I think it's gonna be what, like a 16?
16 will just hit. As the rifle bullet pierces through the green aura, it seems to sink into its flesh.
Okay, so it would be for you said add my dex modifier to the damage, right?
Yeah, it should be to the attack and to the damage.
Okay, okay. So it'll be just 9 total damage.
Excellent.
And then I'll just kind of call out to everybody, everybody in good shape. This shouldn't last much longer. As I'm like reloading with my bonus action.
All right, I forgot that Shield of Faith has concentration. So we're going to say that the Shield of Faith falls on that bullet shot because I didn't keep track of its concentration at all.
Oh, and then Terry's gonna strike back. So it should be 2 pretty easy hits then.
Solid.
For a total of 27 magic damage.
Excellent.
And he's just gonna yell out, "Your god can't help you now!"
And then that's going to go to Gale.
Yeah, gonna keep moving it, and just because I can, I'm gonna use. I have a spell scroll of magic missile at second level. I'm gonna use that one to pepper it with 4 bolts of magic missile.
Do you do you have magic missile? No, wait, that's a spell scroll you made, right?
Yeah, just like I want to save the spell slots for like
I
something
got you. Oh
later.
no, that was immediately what I was thinking. It was like, what's he using a magic missile? I guess it saves you spell slots. But very nice. So what is that? 5 bolts. So 5d4 plus 5.
I think it's only 4 bolts, right?
Oh yeah, that might be. I feel like yeah, that sounds about right. 2 plus.
Yeah, you get 3 at first level and then 1 more for each up level.
So 44 plus 4. What you gonna do?
11 damage.
And
Did
how
you add the
about
4? Or do you roll 11 so it would be 15?
Oh, that's with the +4.
Okay.
I rolled a 1 and 3 2s.
and what would you like to do with Bill?
Yeah, I think he's just gonna shoot 2 arrows. That's what he can do at the moment. So that would be was it 14 and then wait, now it's +8, right? I always forget on the sidekicks.
2 over what it says I think they should be at, so I think it should be +7.
It's 2 over, it's +8 because at least
Alright,
on
that
the
works. I feel like some of the sidekicks are different. I think the ranger and the um, rogues are better because they're experts, if that makes sense. Like, that's one of the things I think they have better to hits.
Okay. Yeah, because then it would be a 14 and a 18 to hit.
Gotcha. Both of those will hit.
Let's see, that would be 18 damage then. Just regular, non-magical.
All right, Neferndel is going to chuck a bottle of acid at it, and it will start to sizzle on top of the creature's head. It will go to Davros.
All right, Davros is going to circle around a little bit as it's kind of swinging out wildly, try to use that opening, and we'll take 2 swings. First one should hit.
Oh yeah, definitely. You're looking at 14 AC right now, so I feel like you guys got
Okay.
to roll over a 7. Yeah, you're solid.
All right, so 2 hits for total of.
Don't think it could possibly survive 2 hits from Davros at this point. So, what do you think happens as you smash into this Minotaur?
I feel like almost maybe like as it's like swinging wildly, like Davros with his first swing kind of like cuts into its shoulder. Maybe it like almost starts to go kind of down to a knee, and then Davros like almost like with a growl, he tries to. I mean, this thing's horns are probably like massive, but he almost like grabs a horn like just like with all his strength, like yanks down to bring its head kind of down a little bit closer to his level, and then you know um brings his sword like with like an up thrust kind of into the base of its neck to finish it off.
Like using the horn as leverage to start to like cut through its spinal cord?
Yeah.
So yeah, as you guys finish off this Minotaur, there's kind of like panting from the other two. Oh, that would have been a better thing for Neffy to do. There's panting from the other two women as they're kind of like recovering. You see as like each one almost like kind of takes a knee, and in similar uh kind of like moments, almost like looks up with like a breath in their lungs and kind of looks to you all and timing couldn't have been more perfect. Thank you all for your assistance.
Oh yeah, I mean, sure. Glad we could be of help. Y'all all right? Otherwise, need some aid?
Each of them shows some pretty bad injuries from like the actual battle, like that you even witnessed with the Minotaur, and has more or less like a cause to kind of like stand and like the one you saw like slammed into the wall with it like actually like grasping a hold of her. She like goes to like move her right arm and you see as she like winces and I may have more than a few broken ribs. believe my arm is at least out of socket. And the other one, like with a similar, like kind of like motion to like move, you see like winces as she like reaches back and like pulls blood from like the back of her skull. Uh, I may too have a wound. Whether I can go on or not, I believe I might be better off.
Yeah, neither looks fatal, and I'll glance down at the dead guy. But y'all fared a little better than he did. I'm sure we could do a little something for you.
And Davros yeah, uh, is gonna go to. He saw the Minotaur drink that one potion, so he's, I don't know, maybe there's a chance it's got another that could be used. So he'll go to kind of search over the corpse.
Roll a investigation or perception.
All right, let's go investigation. 12.
Let's see. Searching over the Minotaur, you can see that he has a rather nice set of like leather sort of draped around him, like from all of the different like attacks and things that you saw, like cutting into and like gouging this thing, the massive wounds of damage. The leather seems unaffected in many ways. My point being is you can kind of tell there's magic protecting its leather armor. It has a rather nice, like untarnished morning star. It's probably a little bit large for like anybody who's like a smaller creature, but in the long run, it has a magical morning star. And then you do find another potion on it. Once again, some sort of red liquid within. Um, on that one, you can write down um, Greater Healing Potion from Rinnis, the Minotaur.
Gotcha. So he'll pick up the Morning Star, kind of hefted in his hands. It's, probably balance for him is a, even him being fairly strong is probably, might be a little, I mean, you can tell, I guess the balance is probably good given its magical properties, but he'll
Yeah, I think in the long run, for you to use it, the +1 would be mitigated by your size. I can't remember what it is. I think you actually have disadvantage for using a large creature's weapon.
yeah, so he'll well, it's well crafted, but yeah, it
Oh, it
it's
also
like
has javelins on it too. My apologies. There's also oversized javelins. So, but either of those, it's the same idea. Like using a larger creature's weapons, I think you have disadvantage, but they do twice as much. But you could take two javelins from it.
and then he'll look towards Jinx probably. If you don't mind the smell, leather seems to be pretty good too.
He's like finishing loading up his rifle. So I'll use my next bonus action to finish that up, and then he'll look up at Davros. My bad, buddy. What was that?
And he'll kind of like gesture towards the arm or the kind of the leather uh, that the Minotaur was wearing, and well, seems to have taken the blows better than might expect. Imagine it might be uh, offer some good protection. It's something you'd be interested in. Again, like I said, if you don't mind the smell.
Oh, the leathers you mean? You think that's magical, or you just saying?
Well, you can see, given the, I mean, I landed some pretty solid blows, and it seems barely scratched.
I'll take a look. Yeah, so I'll come over and kind of take a closer look at the armor. Does it look like it's like unharmed from battle? Do I get the impression that it is in fact magical?
It is indeed.
I mean, take a minute. If we're not in a hurry, I at least bring it with us. It's probably heavy given the size, but
Oh, I wouldn't mind a minute to catch my breath.
yeah, all right. Well, give me a second. Like, y'all want to do a little rest here, or you just mean like a minute?
It's a probably just a minute while you get that armor on. I want to talk to these two for a moment anyway.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'm gonna get this armor off him. Maybe somebody could give me a hand here, and then when we're done with that, see to your injuries as well. There, if you pass the smell test with Davros, but I see y'all got the ring, so I'm assuming.
So what is it? I feel like for light armor, it literally is like 1 minute and I think 3 minutes to don and doff.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And then I'm gonna do a staff charge. I'll like just sort of like tap the one shoulder that's all messed up with the staff, and I'll do a healing. Do I need to roll for them or not really? Because they're NBCs, just like the level.
Yeah, effectively they can heal pretty similarly to your sidekick, so don't worry about it.
Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna do the one with the messed up shoulder first, and then the other one as well.
Gotcha.
Try to gain a
Um,
little favor with them also.
but you guys are not looking to do like a short rest even. You're just taking like the time it takes to don and doff the armor.
That's what Davros is thinking. Yeah,
All right, sounds good there.
he's going to look to the two women while Jinx is kind of changing up his armor, and I don't believe we've met. I'm brother. I can never remember what his um, uh, alias is.
Let me have you roll an intelligence check for me.
Yeah. Okay, 18.
Gotcha. So you like go to them to say we wouldn't have or we haven't met yet, and you recall or remember Neferndel telling you guys that the Brotherhood of Venom operates in cells. She is the only one in this cell who would ever have met any other Brothers of Venom. So you can say as you approach them, we wouldn't have ever met before. And then you could give them your actual coded name, which I don't specifically remember who you were supposed to be, but your name in this cult is not your real name in real life. These cultists are not meant to know each other inside of the Brotherhood of Venom.
Gotcha. So maybe, yeah. So maybe actually knowing that he wouldn't even offer a name because it's probably against like protocol.
Yeah, so you could almost approach them with like, we wouldn't have ever have met before. And you could potentially then like look towards Neferndel and say, have you ever met Curifin? And like check them that way. That would be probably like the closest to like a protocol of recognizing like she is the leader of your cell. She's the one who's met with other cultists. And you would see as both of the women kind of like look to the man on the ground, and they kind of look up and they're just like Brother Gaius was the leader of our group. We've been isolated and know no one else other than your rings, as they look to at very least Davros and Curifin right now, Neferndel, have their rings on.
Well, if you're feeling up to it, you can join us on our hunt for the traitor. We're searching for Wunatad, right?
Yeah, we are indeed. Like, you're presently, you guys are like searching further and further, um, sort of under the idea you believe Wuntad has the king of the barbarians, and at very least is definitely the more or less gatherer of all of these cults.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was pretty sure. I just wanted to double check I wasn't misremembering. So yeah, he'll say like you can help us if you're up for it. Find the traitor Wunatad.
Hey, just curious because we've been kind of making our way through here. We run into some pretty ferocious things along the way, some bad and some worse. Where'd y'all come from exactly? How long you been down here?
Brother Gaius had instructed us that Rinus was in need of our service, and we had come from they just kind of temple to the east basically, and kind of like almost point back towards those stairs. Um but yeah, I kind of feel like that's their reason for being here, is they were like called to assist Rinus. And then kind of like in response to Davros, they kind of like looked at him and like, Rinus turned on us in a flash of a moment, as if something had changed. None of us saw it coming. I don't know who the traitor is you're searching for, but it was as if he was given an order, like in that moment. Had they always been planning to betray us?
And say it's likely, but I don't know when the plan was actually sprung into action. Only learned of it, the treachery, recently ourselves. What brings us here? And I'll kind of gesture back towards the others. Just let me know if you want me to do a deception check at some point, because it's obviously leaving some stuff out and not telling the whole truth.
That's kind of where I put like that intelligence check, and I don't think you're any better at deception than you are intelligence, so probably could have called for a deception instead of the intelligence, but I wanted to see how good of his memory was on that one. Not going to make you roll until you fail. You rolled well once, you know?
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it's the same modifier, so it would have been the same result.
Yeah. So, in the long run, that decided a lot of how your conversation went with these women. And then you guys also had information like from that dwarf. Like the dwarf kind of gave up a little bit to the effect of like the Brotherhood of Venom was supposed to be wiped out by now. Like he knew that people were going to betray you. So there's a level of like you guys are kind of already changing the script of what the other chaos cults thought they were doing. So yeah, by the time you get the armor on, Jinx, this is a +1 studded leather armor, so you can apply that for yourself. As far as things go, until you leave the Minotaur's presence, like it's gonna stink, but the armor itself is not actually stinky. It can't really be tarnished by um, the Minotaur, let alone somebody like not bathing in it. It's magical armor.
Okay, cool, cool.
It's also one of those things. By the time you put it on, you notice how well it fits you, and it would definitely like call to like reference like All right, this thing was like twice the size when it was on the Minotaur, but it fits me perfectly.
Well, if he's Lord you here, likely Lord others as well. We should keep moving.
Hey, so does anybody else wear leather armor? Am I the only one?
Like Bill or Seamus would wear leather.
But
Well,
actually, Davros is wearing leather armor or studded leather as well.
is yours +1 also, Devros?
No.
Oh, I already got that +1 studded leather from like the last thing we did, so you should probably take this one.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I didn't realize you already had some.
Yeah, the one
Uh,
I have is already studded leather +1. I mean, Davros, if your armor's not magical, I mean, you got the kill. Makes sense. You take the armor anyway, so I mean, I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong, but I can't wear 2 pairs. I mean, I can, but I'd look silly.
yes, I'd forgotten. Might as well. Yeah, so he will. I guess. I guess this is probably going to happen before he Jinx will put it on and stuff. But yeah, Davros, I guess we'll take it then.
Yeah, that is perfectly acceptable. I didn't bring it up, but I was vaguely thinking, I was like, I swear one of the parts at least had magical armor.
Yeah, that's exactly what mine was. It was +1 studded leather. So, all right. So yeah, I took it off or delete it from my sheet, put it on yours, and then should be good then.
So I think back to when you like kind of phrase it as like, let's move on. Um, you'll see as they kind of like look like off to the north, basically back where you came, or back to the south. We're back to the south for like a reference of like which direction do you consider moving on?
We came from the north. Definitely don't want to go back that way. So if y'all come down them stairs over there, I mean, south it is. Yeah.
The stairs did lead to the temple.
We got a couple of folks around the corner there too that we're dragging along with us. So grab them, and then south it is.
You see as the two women like look at you, look back, bringing sacrifices.
You call them what you want to call them. A couple of warm bodies. You never know where they're going to come in handy.
So yeah, let me have that one be. I mean, you can have that be a persuasion or a what is a lie? I can't believe my brain's blanking. Oh, a three? What is that? Probably still like a 17.
It's plus 11, so 14 total. Deception or persuasion? Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
deception. There we go. Yep.
Yeah, so 14 total.
So yeah, they like look back at each other like when you say you've got some people, and then they like look at each other like for a moment when you say like just warm bodies. They might come in useful. They don't seem to reference. They don't seem to say anything. But these two women will continue on with you guys at present. And this is the start of you guys marching along a really, really long hall. It's gonna go on and on, occasionally turning. Occasionally, there are things that you like expect to be traps. Occasionally, there are like active traps, in the long run, I'm not going to say that there's any reason that you guys have to encounter any particular danger. The main point is to kind of like turn this into like that just never ending hallway that seems to just kind of continue on. And just seems to go as if you wonder if you're walking for an hour, if you're walking for 4 hours. The time just kind of goes on and on. There's a point where I think we discussed it. Gale had the highest passive perception with 13, and then Jinx was like right behind. So Gale starts to pick up like sort of a grinding kind of mechanical noise just a little bit before Jinx, who picks it up just a little bit before Davros. But basically, as you guys are walking along this hall, everything goes from a general sort of like silence of this underworld to there's like a slow grind of something mechanical until eventually, like, say, 45 minutes or another hour later, it's almost a cacophony of just loud grinding, stone against steel, steel against steel. You can hear all of these different noises that are just deafening because everything is just so loud and you're just approaching closer and closer. You can't imagine it getting any louder until sometime later you start to have the first kind of new sensation in this place. You've almost become like numb to the noise of walking through this hallway as you smell for the first time iron in the air. And it would be a familiar scent to pretty much all of you at this point to smell blood. And walking along for a time more, you kind of continue forward and forward until eventually you see, with a turn in the hall doesn't continue anymore. There's just a closed iron door along this about 20-foot long wall, and you can just see this door, and you can just hear the noise. You can still kind of smell the blood. You're still in these like moist stone halls, and there's nothing but this door and the ever progressive halls behind you.
Well, I think we all know what's behind that door. The machine. That's why we're here.
So
My
Davros
bad.
is going. Oh,
No, I was just gonna say, my bad. I forgot I have to drop your characters, so I'll drop those in a second. But you guys can continue to chat.
yeah, and I imagine Davros kind of as normal has been kind of up at the front of here, so he'll uh look back towards Jinx and look towards the others, and then towards the door, and he'll, he probably has to speak pretty loud to be heard over the kind of the din. So kind of like almost like
Yeah, you definitely don't have to yell into chat here. You guys can speak normal volume, but this is definitely one of those things where yelling isn't even effective. This is far more like saying stuff so people can read your lips, pointing and actually like referencing stuff like that. The noise is deafening. There's no effect to like making noise in this place.
gotcha. Okay, so maybe he'll pantomime, like he'll like put his hand like on the door, and then look back to Jinx and like hold up like one, then two, then three fingers, then like make a like a gesture, like a pushing gesture. Um, he'll probably also be saying or shouting like, on three, open the door, but figuring he can't even hear himself speaking, so they probably can't either. He essentially is trying to pantomime like, all right, on three, I'm gonna try to open the door.
Terry's gonna like grab your shoulder, seeing what you're about to do, and tell you to hold up for a second. And then probably you won't be able to hear him. I'm assuming, sounds like. But he's gonna go ahead and give a morale boosting speech. Do you want me to actually give a speech since nobody can hear him, or do
I
you want me to
love
just?
the idea of Terry giving a speech that nobody can hear, but Terry pauses everybody's attention to just go on this rant.
Behind that door lies sudden death. Some of you, matter of fact, most of you will die. And he'll like put like slit to his throat, and then he'll point out a couple people in particular, kind of shrug his shoulders. But should it help, I think I, as the undeclared leader of the group, like to say that it was a pleasure. And should I not make it, I am definitely the leader, and Trogdor is far inferior. I am the king of the goblins, self proclaimed. Good luck to everyone.
Yeah, so Davros like looks down when he probably feels like Terry tugging on his arm, and then when Terry starts giving his like oration, Davros can't hear him, but he's like gives like a thumbs up and like a clap on the shoulder, and he's just like, "Well said," but obviously has no idea what Terry said.
And everybody will gain 3d8 temporary hit points. So 1 second.
Oh, we don't actually have to be able to hear the speech.
As far as I'm concerned, it's perfectly effective.
13 temporary hit points for everyone.
I feel like if I made Terry's speech not effective, it would be most heinous of a nerf to Gale, because that would be saying that magic doesn't work if you can't hear it. But I think it's more important to say that the person casting or using the magic is the one who knows what they're saying. Like they have to say it to themselves, like more than anything, kind of thing. But that's kind of like my take on like verbal components.
Okay, so maybe we can't like actually hear what Terry is speaking, but we can feel this sort of sense of kind of bravado and such kind of flowing through him, and kind of get a sense, or maybe we, I don't know, hear it subconsciously or something. Yeah, but yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it's technically called rallying cry, and Terry just chooses to give a motivational speech.
I feel like I've used at least one of those tokens for another NBC before, but I can't actually remember why. She just seems really familiar. But yeah, you guys are otherwise all set here. You've got your rallying cry, you've got your steel door in front of you. What would you like to do?
Yeah, so like after Terry's speech, Davros will repeat his kind of pantomime and then go to try and open the door on 3. He's probably figuring that like he doesn't need to. There's no reason to be try to be stealthy because nobody's going to be able to hear anything anyway.
My bad. It's just kind of dawned on me that I don't actually know where the information I need starts from here, and I wouldn't mind grabbing a drink. So how about we take a break here as I transition from one chapter to the next in my book? So let's take a quick break. If we come back in 5 minutes, great. If you take a little bit longer, awesome. But once we got everybody back, we'll continue.
Yep, sounds good.
All right,
All right.
see you in a bit.
Are we present?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm back.
Excellent. Just missing Jinx, perhaps.
Yep, I'm here.
Excellent. Browsing through things real quickly, it doesn't really even talk about that door. So I'm going to go ahead and say when you go to open the door opens. I don't think there's any reason for things to get louder. I don't think there's any reason for things to be in darkness. So I'm just kind of reveal what is the inner circle of the Mrathrak machine. Um, oh, I didn't mean to do it like that. Let's try like this. Bam. Alrighty. So when you open that door, you are on the top of this machine. There are moving parts and cogs and wheels and things all throughout this. And after those like 20 or so feet, the like steel like girders, not necessarily girders. It's almost like scaffolding. Is kind of like what's like all around this thing, in like the outer rings and like the inner rings. There's the walkways between, and it says there are ladders between the levels, but it doesn't really put them on the map. So I'm tempted to just say, when you guys want to climb between a level, we'll say there's a ladder between each scaffolding on the outside, and then there's a ladder. I feel like center outside and inside is perfectly fine. So you guys can climb up and down basically in the center of each scaffolding, whether on the outer ring or the inner ring. You can kind of climb up and down these levels. It continues downward for quite a ways. As far as I can tell, this thing is, say, like 10, 15 levels deep. Like, looking down below you, the stone is uh, easily 100 plus feet away. So it would definitely be quite a like vertigo inducing like look over this edge. There is no railings on this. So these are just like scaffolds to walk on. Any way, like over the edge or whatnot, you could easily fall. There is plenty ability to climb like up and down just through sheer strength to like basically throw yourself over the edge, like do like a pull up kind of thing, like letting yourself down and then just like swing to the level below you. So you can kind of like move between them also athletically. But otherwise, those ladders are in the center. But yeah, you guys are kind of like looking at this massive like construction, and it's, I don't know, I feel like from our modern perspective, it would almost be like if you had a missile silo kind of like filled with like a massive like steampunk like machine in the center. But yeah, that's kind of what you guys are walking into, and this is clearly the origin of this like cacophonous noise.
Yeah, so Davros walks in. He's not sure what he's expecting, some sort of machine, but this is kind of just in size and scope far beyond probably what he was expecting. So he kind of, you know, creeps out onto the walkway a little, onto the, I guess almost like a catwalk kind of, and just like kind of looks and then looks back to the others and not really sure where to start. He will, I guess, kind of somewhat, you know, not like stealthily, but cautiously, I guess, start like making his way out, along this first walkway towards the, I guess, in towards the more central portion to, um, maybe like peer over the edge, kind of like put one foot up front and like very kind of almost like maybe um yeah, like he's just like yeah, gonna try and kind of peer over the edge, like just want to see like just how far it actually goes down, and I guess to see if there like he sees any person like down on a lower level.
So Jinx is just gonna kind of stay to the peripherals initially and be like sort of like on the lookout, potentially looking for like a flying demon creature thing.
What do you mean by you're keeping a lookout for the? Okay, you're looking for Winnetog.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like kind of stay like more on the lookout so he doesn't necessarily like get the jump on us in case he is here. Because I don't think we know a ton about this machine. Like, I don't know if like we're expecting him to be like at the heart of this thing, like strapped into it, or if it's like he's just around, or even if he'll be here.
So I think let me have each of you roll a perception.
That's a 10 from Gale.
Yep, 10 for me.
17 for Davros. Or no, 19. Sorry, it's a +1.
Alrighty. So as you're kind of like looking around, and kind of like keeping an eye out for things, you're like walking across the scaffold, keeping an eye, looking over. You can see there's, quite a few levels below you. Again, it's probably about 100 or 150 feet. There's probably about 7 to 10 like levels of the scaffolding. It's hard for you to make out like a full number of them, but you understand that there's quite a few below this top, like most level where you guys are at. As far as like kind of looking around for like signs of Lunatad, Gale and Jinx are not necessarily picking up any signs of anything in particular at this point. There is occasional movement down below you that you can make out, Davros, but your attention is going to be pulled um, towards the top level around the same time that you see something below you moving. You're going to make out that from the other side of the machine, there is something basically like walking, and it has just kind of like come around the sight line of the machine to where you might have caught it first. Maybe it spotted you and hasn't necessarily reacted, but you do basically spot something along the lines of one of those venom shaped thralls. What would you like to do?
So I think he's gonna try and like point in the kind of in the direction of where he spotted the thing and like look back and shout at the others, even though they're not going to be able to hear him. But he'll maybe they can like make out what he's saying. I think he's just going to shout like I don't know if we came up with a if we within the group have a name for these things, but he'll just kind of shout like one of those bony things, and then yeah, I think he's going to start probably start moving along clockwise this inner ring.
Gotcha, going immediately for it, not trying to like hide yourself. You just rush straight towards it.
Yeah, probably not the smartest thing. And he's probably walking. He's probably moving a little bit slower than normal because there's no railings. Does it otherwise seem sturdy though?
You had a 17 on that perception. These are not sturdy in the least bit.
Okay. In that case, he might not do that because those things are big, probably heavy. It's a long way down. Yeah, so maybe he actually might like back up a couple feet, but he doesn't want to. I guess maybe kind
You
of
know what?
almost like.
You're a blacksmith. You were the first one to kind of approach the scaffolding. As you moved onto it, you would already have kind of noticed the like lack of stability to it. It's not like so poor metal that you think it's just going to break at any given point. It's just one of those things where it's pulled to tension, not necessarily supported from torquing. So like something moving, like fighting on this is going to require more of a dexterous ability to stay there, as like it can twist and turn the way this construction is. And I feel like that's a solid like way for you to recognize as a blacksmith and somebody who would be producing things like kind of scaffold for like construction up on the higher level of Tolus. You would kind of recognize and understand like fighting on this is going to require dexterity saves to keep yourselves from falling.
Gotcha. Okay, yep, that makes sense.
So yeah, it's probably in Davros's mindset to at very least not go there alone. Like being next to this big gigantic creature isn't necessarily going to make you more likely for like things to break because you guys weigh too much. It's just more dangerous because being next to these things means you have a chance of falling down below.
Yeah, gotcha. So maybe he's actually even like kind of like motioning to Terry like back, and he's kind of essentially. So he's not. So he's probably not going to approach further, but he'll kind of maybe try to like almost like take a wider stance, kind of brace himself to give him a better, try to give himself a better center of balance, and just kind of hold his position there. Not sure if the thing has seen him or not.
Gotcha. So as you're like pushing back on Terry to get Terry to move back, as you're trying to back off, you kind of glance back over to your shoulder, and by that point, you can recognize that this thing has noticed you, and it's about to close the distance. So I think here we will roll for initiative.
17 for Gale.
15 for Davros.
Son of a bitch! I rolled great for its perception check, and let me tell you, I did not roll great for its dexterity initiative.
And 20 for Jinx.
But all of your high rolls don't mean shit when I rolled a one, so go. So you guys are gonna all go first. I think Jake said he was 20, Gail was right below, and then Davros. My bad.
Yeah, Davros is third. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, or below Jinx and Gale. Yeah.
So I will pull out my magical boomerang and I'm gonna chuck it at this thing. Oh shit, got that natural 20. Maybe the first one ever. Definitely with the boomerang though. Okay, so I don't actually have a magical item from the boomerang. I know it was like kind of during like the crazy times. What like stats am I using for that?
Oh, it's just a plus one boomerang.
Okay, plus one boomerang. Okay, so normally it would be a D4 plus 4. So it would be what, 9? D4 plus 4 plus 1?
Yeah. So D4 plus 5.
Okay. So plus a max 4 for the first time, right? So it's 12
Oh yeah,
total.
okay, I got you. Cool, cool. Yep, sounds good.
And he'll just say, "Damn fine hit," and wait for it to like return. And then, can I use a combination of my bonus slash free action to like put the silk rope through like a semi sturdy part of this walkway and like begin like tying it to my waist in case I fall?
I think it's more realistic that your free action is like grabbing the rope and pulling it like from your bag more than that you could start doing something. But I would say effectively you can put the rope in your hand at that point,
Okay, okay, sounds good.
which I think is pretty much the same as saying like you're starting to tie the rope, because starting to tie it is not going to prevent you if you get thrown over the edge.
And these are the big squares are 10 feet, right?
They are indeed. Yep. What would you like to do with Terry?
I think Terry is going to fight the urge to charge forward, likely to his death, and he will just hold a action if something comes within arm's reach. Maybe he'll like advance up a little bit, to maybe like yeah, I think I'll move forward some, not go like too crazy, but then just hold an action.
Gotcha. To attack whatever comes within reach, basically. Enemy that comes within reach.
Yeah, yeah, sounds good.
I'm going to make up that these characters didn't necessarily get left entirely behind, but she'll come across to here and shoot a crossbow. Yes. So she moves like across the scaffolding, pulls out a large crossbow, takes a shot like as she aims up, uh, puts it right into the bone, and chink falls to the ground far below. Um, that will take us to Gale.
Well, Gale will follow her a bit, like there, and shoot off a firebolt at it. Oh, right, just remembered as well. It should have been more than a minute since I activated the War Wand, so I should roll on that as well. See if it's still
Oh
magical.
yeah, definitely.
Oh, it's still magical, but it was close. So let's see. Yeah, would a 13 hit it?
13 is a miss.
That's it for Gale, and then Bill is gonna follow up as well and shoot 2 arrows. For a nat 20 and a 21.
Both will hit. So what? He's got a longbow. So what is that normally? It's a D10,
No, it's a D8.
D8. Gotcha. So it's 8 plus 2 normal damage it rolls.
Let's see, that's from the normal damage. It's
So 16 plus twice his dexterity modifier. So what is that? Is it going to be 26?
24. Yeah, no, 26. Yeah, that's right.
Excellent. Yeah, I think this one's going to stop in a sturdy place and just hold her crossbow ready to shoot once it comes into view. Basically, if it were to approach towards Terry, she'll shoot before it can get to Terry. And that should take us to Davros.
Yeah. So the machine is at it's like does it rise to our level? Like essentially it's between I can't see the thing
Yeah, my
currently.
bad. The machine is basically relatively cylindrical, and it is from the roof of this cavern down to the floor, as far as you can tell. So imagine all of this as if it's like the two-dimensional, like if you did, what is it, a CAT scan, and you were looking at this as like a two-dimensional image, you're seeing the internal parts like from the top here, but this thing is basically just like a large cylinder in the center of this room that would block view. So where you're at, like where Terry's at, Terry has the slightest view of where this thing is. um I guess my point is, I guess realistically Davros has the slightest view, kind of thing, where he's at. Not all of that is necessarily blocking your view, but it is vaguely just out of view where it is, kind of thing.
Okay, that's yeah. So Davros is going to move. He's the other on the perimeter, but he will also move. And he said, so these are 10-foot squares, right?
Indeed.
Okay, so I think that's about all he can get because he can't get past Terry. Um,
Well, you were already close to the inside circle, weren't you?
so I think I was about there. So this would be like 20 feet, right? 2 squares.
I think that's closer to 10 foot where you just moved. It's like, consider it's like the stone squares in the background. I wonder if I can make the visible grid, because I've got the grid on here. It's just invisible. So if
I
you
can
like,
see like I can see faint line. I can see like the dotted lines.
yeah, so those dotted lines, the very, very faint grid, those are 5 foot squares. If
Oh,
you
okay,
click on your character and you were to move like 1 to 1, that's 5 feet.
okay. I got you. Okay.
My
All
bad.
right. So,
I have it so far zoomed out that, like, to me, you can't even see the dotted lines because I don't know. I look at a lot of maps. I hate seeing double grids. So that's part of why the dotted lines are so faint. It's because I don't like people who put grids into the map for this very purpose. I would much rather throw a map down and not have to worry about getting it the perfect size, just like to play the game.
I got you. Okay. All right. So in that case, he can get past him. He'll move up and probably still didn't have the best shot, but he might, even if it's behind cover, I think he's going to try and toss a couple javelins at it if he can, if he has any shot.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Javelin's long range is 40 feet, right?
Long range is 120. Uh,
Okay.
normal
Or
range is 30.
yeah, yeah. So over 30 feet is long range.
Yeah.
I think you're good though. I think that gets you just into 30. How you moved.
Okay. Yeah. So he will throw two.
That's another thing to keep in mind. If you guys go to the measuring tool, I almost always take the time to measure to set a map so it's measuring correctly. Unless it's like at a city level, often I just don't even bother. But if it's a strategic map, I would say I'm like 99% good at making it the right size, like for strategic maps.
Okay. See, 11 I think is going to miss. 15.
I mean, I'm gonna put it out there because you guys have fought him. This is a 16 AC on thralls.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they all had the same. Okay, so yeah, he kind of chucks two, um, and then yeah, misses with both, and that will be it for him. And then Seamus.
If you want Seamus to be able to get into combat, I am perfectly fine with that. Because you guys like have been forgetting your sidekicks behind, and then he's also a rogue who potentially has cunning action. So, but you can do what you want with him in the long run.
Yeah, I don't think he's pretty nimble, but I don't think he wants to get too close. Same thing, he doesn't want to get kind of thrown off the edge. So I think for now he's just going to kind of stick to the perimeter, and maybe he'll take the dodge action for now. So even long range, his dagger won't reach.
Gotcha. He's pretty safe as far as dodging goes from the Venom Thrall. Like he could hold an action with a dagger if he wanted to. Realistically, like I think he would know if the Thrall chased straight towards him, it can't even cover that distance. Now he's dodging for other potential threats. Go ahead. But this is a foe you guys have dealt with in the past, so sound like a good decision for you though?
All right, so in that case, he will hold a thrown dagger if it comes into normal range, so 30 feet.
Gotcha. And then Neff is just gonna back you guys up.
Or 20 feet for a dagger, whatever normal range.
Gotcha. So yeah, it's just going to basically charge towards Davros. Davros and Terry would both feel like the shaking of the scaffolding as it's basically moving towards you. Uh, do, 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 do. Um, I had one of the crossbow girls hold their action. One of you guys want to roll a d20, you need a 12 on the d20 to hit. And then if you hit, you can roll a d12.
Sure, I guess I can roll it. Just hit with a 13. 13 rolled, I meant, and 9 on the d12.
Excellent. Alright, so the Thrall is going to move up to Davros. It is going to try to claw into him twice. Should be successful with 2 19s to hit.
Yep, those will both hit.
It will grapple and restrain you, and it should do, what's that, 9 and 8 damage, so 17 total damage.
Got it.
And you guys can basically see as it's like shaking the scaffolding, like attacking Davros, it's like clawed legs are like clawing into, and you can almost see like the bones like piercing through its flesh to grip further into the scaffolding as it's like shaking it and Davros, and the two of them are like leaning at these crazy angles as it gets its hands on Davros. Like basically those two kind of factors just prevented the two of them from falling. And it's gonna go back around to Jinx.
Okay, so I'm going to use. So what is it? An action then to tie off the rope?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to tie off one end of the rope to like if there's a piece of solid like something or another right around where I'm at here, I'll tie it to that like on the stone part. If not, just like onto the grating of the scaffolding.
Yeah, I'd say you're tying it through the scaffolding.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do that, and then um, yeah, so that's probably it then for me.
It can more or less be your free action. If you want to like throw a boomerang, you're still good to do that.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, I'll do cutting words then. Uh,
Gotcha.
so I'll yell something out, and you'll see my mouth moving, but no one will hear what I say. But it was really mean what I said.
Ooh, wait a second. Cutting words specifically says if the creature can hear you, you pretty well know in this place the creature can't hear you.
Oh, right. Yeah, good call.
Do you have another spell, or do you want to just huck a boomerang instead?
Oh, yeah, yeah. If you'll let me, I'll just throw a boomerang instead. Yeah, that's fine. 7 damage total, magical. And then Terry will run up. So can I get to like that square right there to fight this thing?
You pretty much have to fight in Davros's square and then step back and away.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. He'll run up and he'll say, I was trying to let it come to us. And then I'll attack it and then just back up afterwards, I guess.
Ooh, shit. Everybody who did an attack action on the scaffolding has to make a dexterity save.
Okay, so 2 for Jinx then.
Yeah, I think two for Jinx, Bill, Gale, and then the skull faced cultist.
Okay, so 17 and 16 for Jinx.
Oh.
11 for Gale.
Okay, and then the first one for Terry, or do you want me to hang tight for a sec while we resolve that?
No, yeah, you're good to roll Terry's.
7. So if he
Oh,
does double attack, is it like 1 for his 2 attacks, or does he
oh
roll
no,
1
no,
and then
it's different. It's different here. My bad. You don't have to roll him for when you're attacking. You're good.
Okay, so do you wanna use that as my hit roll then?
Yeah, what'd you roll?
7, so it's gonna be something like a yeah, I don't think that's gonna get to 16, so
What's his modifier? Like on the character sheet? Is it
on
five
the
or
sheet, it's +6, and he has a magic
+6?
weapon.
So it would be +8, +9. So yeah, that'd be a 16.
Okay, so just enough, and then second one?
Okay, okay. So when you are hit, you have to make a check, a dexterity acrobatics for half the damage or DC 12, and then that knocks you off. You get another dexterity save to see if you can grab onto the ledge before falling. So Davros, you got hit twice for 9 and 8. So there's two DC 5 acrobatics for you. And I think this thing's gotten hit 4 times, but I think it's been hit 5 times for a total of 57.
All right, so first deck save is good. Rolled a 19, or acrobatics, I mean. And here's the second. Should also be good with a 15.
All right, so let's go for the last hit from Terry. This thing almost like stumbled off of the edge, but it was able to grab back on, retaining itself.
Okay, and it was 13 damage on the first one and 16 on the second for a total of 29.
Gotcha. And then that's Jinx. That's to the skull face. So she'll shoot a crossbow. And then that'll go to Gale.
Shooting out a fireball. Shoot it with a 22.
Solid hit.
9 damage.
Excellent. And then for Bill,
Bill will miss with a 4 and a 1. Hold. And yeah, that's it for Gale and Bill.
gotcha. Rolling like a champ with the heavy crossbows. Another shot just kind of flies over your head as I've almost perfectly aligned the heavy crossbows to shoot each other at the same time. And that'll go to Davros.
All right. So quick question. I have a one of my battle master maneuvers is a pushing attack. So if I were to hit, it says I can expend a superiority die and then potentially push it up to 15 feet away from me. Would I have to break the grapple first, or would that by itself be also enough to break the grapple?
I feel like to me, pushing a creature while you're grappled and restrained would force the two of you to like stumble back those 15 feet more than it would make sense that it would break the grapple.
Okay. I just wanted to. I mean, yeah, I'm good either way. I just wanted to make sure because I think in that case he's just going to try to break the grapple here with his action and escape.
Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think about that? Because it's a disadvantage to make the attack, but it just feels like to automatically break the grapple, like once you expend that superiority dice. I'm not sure if that's the heroics of a fighter or if it's like breaking, which one supersedes the other.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mention breaking the grapple, so and it's I mean, it's useful obviously when it's yeah, I'm good with it doesn't break
That's
the
part of
grapple.
why I
So
feel like it doesn't affect it, is because it's not like it says anything about, like defeating grapples kind of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if one day they create a fighter who has an ability like that. But to me, not saying anything is part of like why it just would force the two of you to move.
yeah, no, that makes sense to me. Yeah. So so I think in that case he's just going to try to escape the grapple because also
So let me put this forward here. Make an intelligence or a insight with advantage.
okay. Insight would be a 19.
Gotcha. So you could potentially kill this creature in one solid hit with your sword. I forgot to tell you guys that it's bloodied, but you guys do indeed have this thing bloodied. And I think Davros would probably understand that you could try to break the grapple, or you could just try to kill the thing outright.
Gotcha. Okay. In that case, then, yeah, seeing it's already looking pretty wounded, he will just try to finish it off. I'm going to use my inspiration to make the first attack a straight roll. That will miss though, even with the +1 for magic. and then second at disadvantage. That one should hit.
Gotcha. So roll for damage. Gotta get a 17.
Oh, I think I have to roll max on this then. Nope, it'll be 15 damage. No, 11 damage. Sorry.
Gotcha. So that'll take it to mortally wounded. After Davros comes Nephi. Yeah, Justin Davros, roll an attack roll for Nephrindel to throw some acid at it. See if you
Okay.
can get the kill with the NPC.
And actually, Seamus.
Oh yeah, my bad. I forgot about Seamus. Yeah. Go ahead with Seamus.
So Seamus is, and he's a halfling, so we can move through. I assume they're both humans, right? The other two NPCs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so he's going to close and yeah, kind of hang on to Everest, and he'll try and throw a dagger to finish it off. Which will hit for 9 damage.
All right. There's one thing that I'm going to kind of break the best part about this. Is I forgot to roll to see if it was able to stay on top from Davros hitting it, and I rolled a 3. It tried to catch on to the ledge, and I rolled a 3. I'm down for Shamos to call. Hang on, Davros. But Davros was being grappled when it fell off the edge.
I was afraid of that, yeah.
So Seamus can certainly try to kill it to release Davros before it basically falls to the ground, grappling and restraining Davros. Yeah, I kind of think that's where we kind of take it here. Is like Davros is like falling, and Seamus can get that kill. Um, but you could, I don't know. Do you want to have Seamus try to throw a rope to Davros instead of killing it and hope somebody else kills it before it drags you to the ground? You know where my mind's at right now? Like, do you feel this?
Yeah, actually, yeah. So if he sees Davros go over the edge, then yeah, he will. He'll still say, obviously, hang on, Davros, but instead of throwing a dagger at the thing, he will throw a rope at Davros in kind of a Hail Mary attempt
Gotcha.
to.
So we've got a successful like rope to Davros. You already rolled a hit to hit, so that's perfectly fine. That like Davros has a successfully like rope spin thrown to him. I think the real question at this point basically is which happens first. Of normally falling happens way faster than 100 feet per 6 seconds, just because of terminal velocity. But I just think it's more entertaining to actually see if somebody can kind of like kill this before it happens. So I'm kind of tempted to say Nephrindel is the only one who is before the next turn. So I say let's go to that same thought of let me have Justin Davros make an attack with Nephi and try to kill it. And you guys can alter this as well, because the other thought is Nephi can throw a potion to Davros that has a chance of giving you flight, but it's only a chance. But those are the two things that I feel like Nephi would be thinking about here. She could try to get the kill, and you wouldn't fall because it would stop grappling you once it was dead, and you've already got the rope in your hand. Or she can try to just give you flights, in which case you wouldn't be like pulled down in the same way and would give everybody else a chance to try to save you. Do you have a thought on which you would like to do from Neferndel?
I mean, I selfishly, I would probably go with the attack because I think it has a better chance. But I want to leave this to because I like both options, like cinematically. So I want to leave this to Jinx and Gale, what they think Neffy might do. Because then the other thing I'm thinking is if Davros falls, it's almost like, in the movies when you see like he essentially tries to like twist his body so that he uses the thing and like lands on it
Right.
when he hits the bottom, which I have no idea if that actually works in real life, but
I mean, it's a stony, bony mess, so I'm not really sure that you want it to break the fall because it's like a pit trap to itself. What are you guys thinking, though, from Jinx and Gale's perspective? Where do you think Neffy's at? Whether she's throwing one of her special potions that has a chance of, like, basically giving Davros flight, or whether she's trying to kill the thing that basically is dragging him to the ground.
I would think go for the attack because that has so much higher of a probability.
I feel like that's enough to have two of you voting for it. Does that sound good for you, Gale?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like she would do that because, like, even if there is a chance that he could get flight, it's like, what is it, 1 in 6 or 1 in 7?
Oh, wait a second. If she gives him the good one, there's a chance to pick it too. But yeah, there's definitely reduced chances once you're trying to get the flight.
and you also I imagine have to assume A, he catches it, and B, yeah, it's the right kind of potion.
Yeah, like 1 through 6 is you would have to roll to see if it's the right kind of potion. 10 through 11, um, 10 through 12, you can choose if you did the advanced. So yeah, make the attack and see if you can kill it. It's got 6 hit points. If she can hit, she does
I don't think that hits.
big ol' miss. So Neffy hucks the poison and just kind of misses as it's falling over, and she like hucked it at it above. So on this, I'll give you guys 1 round to try to save Davros from this fall. Seamus is out of this because he's basically holding on to slash like tying off the rope on the other side. But I want people to do a dex check to see if they are fast enough, and you have to be over a 10. This is not my bad. I should say this on this level. Yeah, let's go dex. Normal dex check. You have to be over a 10, so fast people are faster. And then you can act. So, Jinx, what would you like to do? You can be the first to try to check to see if he acts fast enough to do something.
Oh, well, yeah, I feel like Jinx has been like tying off the rope, waiting for somebody to fall. So I'll definitely go for the try to act fast enough. Yeah.
Solid.
So
What is your solution? Boomerang to save his life?
Yeah, so I guess what Seamus is holding a rope that he threw to Davros, and Davros has the other end. We just have to kill the creature so it's no longer grappling him.
Oh shit. I already. The creature goes after Neferndel. It gets a chance to bite into Davros as it's falling. But yes, hold that thought. My apology.
Oh yeah, no worries.
And it has
I,
advantage.
I forgot that I get a chance to poison somebody else.
It has advantage because he's restrained and grappled.
All right, continue on, Jinx.
At least I won't be poisoned when I splat on the ground.
I'm so excited for the chance to actually share with you guys what happened to Terry, but it's just not going to happen yet.
Okay, so I basically just need to kill it, right? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, yeah, you're just trying to kill it so it's no longer like it's just too large essentially for this rope to hold and for Davros to be able to hold on to the rope. You know, it might be able to be enough that just tying off the rope from Seamus's end is good, but in the long run, Davros is about to have to catch like his own weight falling and this other creature. So you just need to basically break its hold by killing it.
Okay, I'll just do inspiration gunshot. So I'll just pull out the rifle and go for a shot at it with inspiration for advantage.
If you roll a double one, it's gonna hit Davros.
Oh yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with a single one hitting Davros. No offense, Davros.
Well, no, you've got advantage. It's really difficult for a single one to be effective.
I mean, I tried my best.
You missed me by that much.
I mean,
Barely, barely.
it only works out that the creature rolled a 2 and a 3 to bite into him, that you rolled a 2 and a 3 to kill it. So Terry's got a chance to do something. You want to roll to see if he's got high enough dex. I think his is just a flat. You got to get a 10 or better on a d20.
Okay, so I'm gonna yell to Davros, "You will be missed, my friend, unless Terry decides to save you." And then I'll give Terry Bardic Inspiration.
I gotta go back to, does Bardic Inspiration require that they hear? No,
Ooh, I don't know.
I'll give you the unless it specifically says, because I don't think Terry
Nope, it says
specifically.
that can hear you. It says within 60 feet that can hear you.
Yeah, I gotta pull it back and say that you can't do it then.
I don't know if Terry has a ranged attack. So I think Terry will
He can throw a javelin. I am always everybody is perfectly fine to have javelins, like some sort of ranged.
I don't know if that's his hustle. I think he's gonna run over and grapple Seamus and try to just help support the weight in case. Uh
Gotcha. Well, you could have Terry tie off the rope and give Seamus the chance to actually um make an attack.
okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll run over with Terry. He'll grab the rope and tie it off real quick. Do I need to do like a dex check or something or
Yeah, roll the dex check still to see that Terry does this before. Yeah, Terry can try to get over there, but Davros is effectively going to hit the ground before Terry gets there. So if Seamus can act fast enough, um, like it would come before Terry gets there. So Terry's action is not conducive to saving Davros at this point. And let's go on to the skull face chick. Um, yeah, will you roll a d12 and a d20 for me?
A nat 20 and an 8.
Yeah, nat 20's the kill. So, can you describe as the cultist, like to the north, kills the creature in Davros? Not in Davros, but like kills the creature that's falling with Davros?
Yes, like she's reacting like quicker than most of us here, just quickly taking aim, shooting a bolt, like hitting it right through its throat.
All right, I rolled the speed of her reaction because it immediately reminded me. So I rolled high enough. So that sounds good. All right, so Davros, you are hanging down below from this rope that Seamus has. This creature has fallen to the actual base of this place, smashes into one of the scaffolds below before its broken body goes all the way to the ground. So, Davros, you could get off of the rope here about 4 flights below them, about halfway down, or you could climb up the rope and get back up with them.
Well, he saw Seamus throw the rope, and he knows that he weighs a whole lot more than Seamus does. So he's not sure that if he tried to climb all the way back up, they'd be able to, or even if they tied it off, like knowing that the scaffolding is shaky. So I think he's going to um, try to like move, like try to get to one of the ladders and get off at the lower level, and then maybe start trying to slowly make his way back up, like kind of, and then, you know, or maybe I guess first get to like level ground and then like take stock of kind of where he is.
That's it. Let me look at my reference real quick.
And instinctively he'll probably like shout out like if he can get to like safer ground, like I'm okay, but then obviously they can't hear him.
All right. So when you are climbing onto this level that you get off on, uh you see that there is a small door that seems to lead into the machine. It's maybe like 3.5, 4 feet tall, and it's kind of like a portcullis, like on a submarine, where it's like generally like oblong, but it's still pretty close to like circular because it's say 2.5 feet wide and 3.5, 4 feet tall. So it's oblong, like no, I don't have a good. It's just generally circular, but slightly taller than it is, like wide. I feel like the oblong is the right word for describing that. I've got nothing else in mind right now. But you do see that there's a door into the machine on the level that you climb up onto. But otherwise, basically, from where Seamus was holding you, there's a ladder, closer realistically to where you fell, that you could walk to like on the east. Otherwise, like on this level, and immediately you don't see anything is like a immediate threat right now.
Gotcha. Is there a way that he can move to where if somebody up above was looking down, they'd be able to see him? Like essentially wants to try and like give an indication because they can't hear him, like give like almost like a wave, like I'm alive, I'm not.
I think Gale, Bill, and Jinx all can pretty well see you. I think the two cultists have like a little bit of a sight on you, but you could probably tell that like on some level right now, like Terry and Seamus are like holding on to the rope, and they seem to have the attention of the others probably as they're trying to find out if you're good and what it means when all of a sudden the tension comes off. But that kind of goes back to where we almost have to separate you guys as a group and go to the top and see what they're actually doing as they catch you. So, what are you guys doing as those two like get this feeling of tension and then they lose the feeling of tension? They would be looking to you guys because they can't see Davros like below. Davros is, 40 or so feet directly below them, and they really can't see that he's like made it onto scaffolding.
Jinx will throw up 2 thumbs up like the Fonz to Terry and Seamus.
All right, so what are you guys doing? What are your thoughts? Are you trying to rush down to him? Are you guys looking to signal to him?
So I guess I've got the rope like tied off and everything. So I guess like we could start climbing down with it if we wanted to. So yeah, I got the rope tied off. I will like throw it down to that sort of like platform that he's standing on, I guess, down there. And then signal for everybody to start climbing down, maybe.
I mean, again, there's ladders if you want to climb down. just don't have to climb down via a rope. If people just want to climb down athletically, you can climb down like with the scaffolds.
Oh yeah, okay, that's fine then.
Gotcha. So Davros, you can see as like Jinx is throwing a thumbs up to Seamus and Terry, and then they're gonna start climbing down.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I think Davros is going to he's gonna like try and like point towards where he sees the door. Um and I think he'll just otherwise kind of be while he's waiting for them to climb down, just kind of trying to keep an eye out to see if any more of those things appear. But he doesn't want to open the door before, while he is here alone. And I think he'll give like maybe he'll give like a tug on the rope and then or maybe like two tugs, even though, and then probably let it go. So that the Seamus and Terry can just kind of pull it back up and recoil it, use it again if they need it.
Gotcha. So who's moving first?
Yeah, so Terry, I guess we'll go ahead and start just climbing down then from where he's at. What do I have to do? A dex check?
Athletics.
That's strength based, yeah. So he is a strength bro. So it should be what, like a 10?
Yeah, I think at this point his strength should be a +5. But it doesn't say he has athletics as a fighter.
No, it's just strength and con.
Doesn't he have like any skills? And it says.
Which one is he? The warlord? Yeah, he's got skills athletics.
Oh, my bad. I didn't realize there was a whole different thing for it. Yep, he has athletics and intimidation. My bad.
Yeah, so say it was hours and hours. You roll another d20 for me. Terry is feeling exhausted. Terry has 1 level of exhaustion right now. Right, I don't
Eight.
think it changes it. But Terry is aware of it from this climb that something's feeling a little bit weird. And Terry has 1 level of exhaustion right now. But
Damn eggs.
he can otherwise get down to the level.
Oh wait, did you say to the level below or to where Davros is? Kind of cut off there.
Not keen to force you to roll a million times, but I do think skipping levels is more dangerous than just. I don't know. It's kind of a hard choice there. I'm tempted to say that you should have to make the multiple checks versus just going straight down.
So if I want to go down 4 levels, just make 3 more checks, but now what? It's at disadvantage?
Well, I made you roll the other one because it is at disadvantage now for Terry to make checks. I think what's better to say is Terry going to go all the way to Davros while everybody else is still up top? Or is everybody moving together as much as possible?
Like, would each round 1 level, or would he normally be able to do multiple levels, like, per? Because I don't think he's just gonna, like, go and everybody else stays, but I think he would, get after it.
I think technically Seamus is probably the only person who can climb at a faster pace to where he could do multiple levels in a round. Everybody else is going to essentially need like a round per level. So it takes them about, it's taking you guys probably about 5 seconds to clear like one level.
Yeah, I mean, Seamus will be ready to scamper down once. Yeah, once he sees Terry start climbing down, he will be moving to follow.
Because Seamus is a cut purse. As far as I'm concerned, that means he's an actual thief. Like Seamus can move through this place like it's his second home. You know what I mean?
Okay, so okay, he's got like the second story work or whatever
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
He's
That's kind
there.
of my general point. Like with Seamus is, they're not meant to be full characters, but for stuff like this, that's purely like the flavor aspect of it. Seamus is effectively moving around this place as if he were something that can climb. Like there's no need for Seamus to have ladders or ropes. He can move down and up all of this as if it were nothing.
Yeah, so I think Terry would probably be doing, like, the equivalence of a dash. So would that mean he still covers 1, or would he cover 2 in a single round?
Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, he could essentially do two there.
Okay, so, just 1 more strength check at disadvantage then?
Um, no, he can do those at the one check.
Okay, gotcha. And, I think Jinx would just be, like, hanging tight up top with the rope still tied off in case, like, anything goes wrong. It's sorta like watching everybody's back.
Yeah, I think Gale and Bill will like follow down with. Okay. Oh my god, we literally have said his name. The Goblin dude. Terry. Ah, yeah.
Gotcha. So I think Justin had Terry go down the rope Seamus had tied off.
Yeah.
Gale is next to one of the ladders because I had said they were in the center of each, like between like the center, like the walkway scaffoldings. So Gale is next to a ladder if you want to go down the outer ring.
Yeah, I mean, if it's. Yeah, it would go down the ladders. It wouldn't try climbing a rope.
Gotcha. So we'll put Gale, but you can only cover one level, unless you want to. You could dash and go two levels.
Yeah, I think it would like be a bit careful around here and just like one level at a time. Do you want me to roll anything to climb down the ladders, or
Roll a dexterity check for me, please, and do one as well for Bill.
that's a 10 for Gale? I think that would be. Was it a 50?
Excellent. Um, So Davros, you're holding tight for them. Is Seamus staying up top, or is he coming down with you?
No, Seamus is headed down.
Excellent. So Seamus could probably dash and get all the way down to Davros. Do you want to close the distance with Seamus? Do you want to stick to Terry? Do you want to scout?
I think he'll want to get down um, probably as quickly as he can.
Yeah, so you guys would probably see Seamus effectively like stepping like into the like center, like and just like gripping the machine, and he's like walking down this machine as if it were like flat ground, like popping from different like mechanisms as they like pop and whirl and move and twist. He's just like walking down the side of this like it's a stairway. But Seamus can move down to Davros's level. Roll a perception for me with Seamus. Oh yeah, my bad. The reason I had Davros out there was specifically because you were hanging at the time.
Oh, okay.
A 1 for the perception. It is still counting if anybody used their inspiration. I don't know if you used it with Davros, but that is technically a 1, and you can gain inspiration for that.
I did when I was trying to kill the thing, so I will go ahead and take it back. Obviously, Seamus is so pleased with how he's traipsing down that he's just not paying attention like he should.
All right, the cultists on the inside circle. The two cultists both like take the ladders down. The cultist on the inside circle actually slips, and she catches herself like just kind of getting like a foot in the rung of the ladder and like whipping herself backwards. She like slams like back into the ladder, kind of hanging below her foot that's like lynched into the ladder. But she's right about on the level of Terry, as she kind of like, well, nobody hears her scream, but as she like basically falls about 10 feet, injuring herself a little bit, but she sees she starts to pull herself up, and for a moment just kind of pulls herself to the sturdier scaffolding on the second level below the top. So I think that gives everybody but Neffy. So at present, I've got you guys fully separated. We've got Jinx and Neferndel on the top. We've got Gale, Bill, and one of the cultists on the outer ring of the level below. We've got Terry and one of the cultists on the second level down. And then skipping a level, you've got Davros and Seamus below there. And I have everybody roll a perception check with their main character. It's just a group perception of kind of what's going on.
12 for Gale.
8 for Davros.
I got a 4, nat 1. Can I get inspiration back for that?
You do indeed.
Sweet.
So I think overall, you guys have a pretty low perception as a group here.
I think it's an 8 average, right? 4 plus 8 plus 12 divided by 3. Yeah, I think it's an 8.
Alrighty. Feel like I should have just kept your names in dexterity or in initiative order and played it like that. But what is going to happen here is from below, as Seamus like kind of walks up and catches up to Davros, from below, Seamus is going to feel the grab of a hand as it fails to grab him, and another one as it successfully grabs him. Seamus is going to be grappled and restrained from below. Oh wait, he doesn't have to take damage. Make a concentration or a constitution save for me. Um, I don't think he has proficiency, so just roll above a 6.
Yep, a 9.
All right, so Seamus is grappled and restrained from below as one of these creatures is walking up from the level below you, Davros, and has like reached out to slash into his leg. And then once it actually got like into his leg, its bony protrusions have started to grow through his muscle, and it's kind of pulled him in. So let me have you guys roll initiative here.
4 for Gale.
8 for Davros.
And 16 for Jinx.
All right, Jinx, close one. Well played. My roll was technically a 17, so if you had rolled, I thought initially you rolled too high and you were going to go last. But Jinx, you are in good position to see this creature kind of like come up and attack Seamus. So it's approximately, like 40, 50 feet away from you because it's 40 feet below you, like in vertical. But you can see as one of these creatures attacks Seamus from below. What would you like to do? And again, you and Neferndel are the only two on the top level right now.
Okay, so I'm not great without sound. We know that.
I would say while you're in this situation, you can inspire people with touch instead of giving you the distance. I know it's still a nerf to you, but that's just, I think, where we're going to have to kind of like leave this room.
No, that's fair. I like it actually. It makes me think outside the box. Okay, so does this thing has Seamus grappled from below right now, right? And there's still like from where I'm at, I can see there's still quite a bit to the ground from where Seamus is, right?
Yeah, Seamus and Davros, from your perspective, it's kind of weird judging perspective, like from how things go. You can roll an intelligence check here. Intelligence, insight. I feel like that works. Or intelligence, nature. Nature is an intelligence. Yeah.
So
Okay.
19.
With that, I'll tell you. Effectively, Davros and Seamus are on level 6 of 10 levels, so they are halfway down. They're on the 6th level up or the 5th level down.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so I'm thinking that want to get down to that level. I have the rope still tied off for now, though. So before I go down, I almost want to untie the rope. So
Yeah, I was. Go ahead.
tell me if this seems viable, okay? Is it possible for me to untie the rope and then do a potential like acrobatic maneuver to like go down one or multiple levels like with or without like trying to like activate my gloves for like grip? Like, for instance, could I, like, do an acrobatic maneuver on the way down? Like, jump down to, like, one platform to, like, the next, kinda, like, tucking and rolling, and then, like, activating my gloves to, like, grip on when I get to the appropriate level?
Leaping down into a duck and roll is gonna damage you with a d6 damage. I think regardless. If you did a successful save, I would reduce it by 1 die. So if you let down one level, a successful acrobatics, I'll let be damage free. If you go down 2 levels, though, successful acrobatics is only going to reduce it to 1d6. If you jump down 10 levels, you would successfully acrobatics still take 9d6. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. What if I, like, ran and leapt and, like, just well, I don't wanna grab onto the alien creature and, like, potentially harm Seamus either, like, pull him down. So yeah, I'll do 2 levels down. I'll go 2 levels down. So I'll try to close the distance halfway. So
Really?
what, an acrobatics check to start, and then I'll take a D6 damage?
So you said you're going down 2 levels? Yeah, just roll an acrobatics real quick. I
Yeah, I
never
think
know how
that's
to
the way to
spell
go.
Seamus's name.
Okay, so it'd be a 25 for acrobatics.
Yeah, so that's solid. You can jump down 2 levels. You'll take a d6,
Do you roll that?
so 5 damage.
Okay, cool. And
So
then from there, do I still have an
that's,
action or is that pretty much done?
I mean, that's essentially movement as far as I'm concerned. That puts you, I mean, more or less, I think you're like leaping down into Terry's side almost. So you're like next to Terry, and then the red-headed cultist is over there as well. But you're effectively on the 8th level there.
Okay, and then do I have a sight on Seamus from here to where I could like throw the boomerang or take a shot?
Oh, maybe it's better if you jump down and back in. If you want a sight on them, because they're on the inner ring, so they're like right below you if we had you go into the inner ring. So how about if we have you like,
Take the shot first and then jump down?
I mean that can work, or you're, I don't know, it seems weird to have you jump across and then back across because that's limiting different distance that you can jump. I don't think you could actually do that. I feel like, yeah, I feel like you would almost have to like do an acrobatics to say you like are leaping down to the level below you to grab onto the scaffolding and throw yourself to the level like below it.
Okay,
So
I'll
you're
do
almost
that.
doing that like
So
parkour, how people like quickly descend the outside of buildings.
yeah, yeah, that's perfect. That's kind of like what I was picturing. So just one more acrobatics check or
No, no, the one's fine for the whole maneuver.
okay. So then just an attack then?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so for this one, I'm just gonna boomerang it then. Magical boomerang.
Do you have a +9 total? What's your plus? Should be a plus
No, I'm
nine.
+7, so that would be a
Yeah.
miss.
So that is a miss there. What would you like to do with Terry? Terry is near the ladder. Oh God, I don't have a diagram of where all of the centers are because all of the ladders are not like vertically in line. Fuck, not having a complete mapped out section. I think that's where the ropes down really come in, is on the levels below where we can see clearly what's meant to be here by the scaffolds. Um, Having like a chain of ropes allows you to like ascend without moving around these circles. So Terry's 2 levels above where Davros and this are happening. What are you thinking he would do?
He's gonna try to get down the rest of the way. If what the I'll have to dash for that then?
So roll an investigation for Terry. I guess it's just really roll a d20.
17.
All right. So Owlbear Christ. Let's say that the level Terry's on, there's a ladder just south of him. Yeah, see, they'd be offset. Yeah, let's say his dash is able to get to the ladder and then to the next one, but you wouldn't be close enough to actually do anything, but you don't have an action. So we'll say Terry is able to dash down the ladder and get to the same level as Davros and Seamus, but he's 30 feet away from the two of them.
Okay, and then I need a strength check with disadvantage for his exhaustion.
He's actually doing a dexterity check when he's taking a ladder, so just roll a dexterity at disadvantage.
Okay, so it'd be a 15 on the
Yeah,
dice.
he's solid.
Okay, and then I think that's it for him, right?
Yeah, my bad on this being a little slower, guys. I never actually thought about the fact of how adventurous, like, the verticality of this map was going to be. It was like, oh yeah, I've got 5 levels that I have other maps on. Never thought how much time we might actually spend on this. So that was Jinx. I already erased what I rolled for the NPCs. So let's pretend the NPCs do something. I don't want to worry about it right now. And we'll get Davros thinking about what he does while I deal with the NPCs. So what are you thinking here, Davros? Oh, wait, no. The creature is right after Jinx. No, Jinx was right after the creature. Yeah, so Davros, what are you thinking?
So if Davros can see the thing kind of reaching up for Seamus, is there a way for him to try to get at it from up, like I guess it's from coming from below? You said right.
At
So
this point, it's effectively like on your level. It's closing that ground. My point was is that the first like claw into him was coming from below. As far as I'm concerned, it is on your level at this point.
gotcha. Okay, so I think Davros is going to kind of like um, focus a couple swings on the creature, trying to, I mean, not mechanically, but just essentially trying to like essentially break its grip to let
Gotcha.
Seamus go.
I'll give you disadvantage, and if you can do 25 damage, you can cut off that arm, or you can just
Uh,
attack it normally. Like you won't be able to break the restrain, but if you go with disadvantage and do 25 damage, you can cut off its arm. And it can't use that claw again.
Yeah, I'll do that because Davros knows what it's like to almost go flying over the edge. So yeah, he's gonna kind of essentially try like a called shot kind of thing.
That was completely improvised, and I think that could be super cool if this works out. So let's see how it plays.
All right, let's see.
And you've got inspiration. Do you want to use that inspiration to make the first one straight?
Yes, I will. All right, first one hits.
If that was a crit. Also, that 25 does. Oh, nice.
So that'll be for 17 damage.
All right, so disadvantage and 8 damage.
Uh,
It's a 9. I
in-
feel like that's good. You need +7 for 16.
yeah, that'll hit. Now we just got to roll. I think above a 2 or above a 2.
On 2d6, so it's a given.
All right, for 9 more damage.
All right, so you can cut off that arm that is piercing into Seamus.
Yeah, and he's gonna kind of like, as he's like kind of just hacking it off, he's like, things aren't grabbing anybody else. And then I think Seamus kind of like, as he's kind of like shying away as he like, and then he'll, I don't know, maybe I almost like kind of like the idea that like the arm is like still gripping him a little bit even as it gets like shorn off, and then he just grabs it off and like tosses it down into the, off the side onto the bottom.
Yeah, I almost like the idea that he's not necessarily restrained where he's at disadvantage, but he is still like kind of grappled, like not like moving because of like the way he's reacting to still being held.
Yeah. So he's just going to kind of Seamus is going to take out his dagger and try to with a little more maneuverability now, still grappled, but is going to try to stab out at the thing. Yeah. That should hit from Seamus
Excellent.
for 5 damage. Oh wait, I guess would it be higher because he deals 2d6 plus 2? Would the plus 2 be higher now that he's 7th level, or?
Yeah, I think everything that they do, proficiency bonus should be plus 2 more. So I think the plus. Oh, why is he doing plus 2? That's weird.
Maybe because he does 2d6. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
good
but
just keeping this 2d6 plus
I
2.
would say just make it 2d6 plus 4. I would add plus 2 to what they're making, to what their like pluses are, is kind of the general. I feel like the rogues are just weird how they wrote them up as if they weren't necessarily using dexterity weapons. So he's getting plus 2 from his strength or something. But a rogue's definitely a dexterous character. You're gonna have max dex if you can. I don't know. I
Yeah.
like the inspiration from those characters, but that's part of the reason why I like actually making the characters too. Like, they're such a cool inspiration, and then just to homebrew new ones for the campaign just makes more sense.
Yeah, he's definitely good. Yeah, definitely good scaffolding. But anyway, so that would be then 7 damage from Seamus.
All right. So I think I'm gonna have Neffy move down the ladder towards where Gale went. Can I have Gale roll a dex check for her? And then the redheaded cultist is gonna move down the ladder towards Terry. Can I have Justin Jinx roll a dex check for her? And then the skull face cultist is gonna move down I don't know, just the next ladder. Can I have Justin Davros roll a dex check for her? I really just want to know if you rolled under a 10 as Davros rolls a 3.
Indeed, I did.
What'd you roll for Neffy?
That 18.
And was the redhead good? From I think that's Justin. Justin Jinx. What'd you roll? I guess back to, was Davros the only fail there? Can you roll another d20?
Uh, 18 that time.
All right, so it's another like stumble and kind of catching herself. I know I have 2 T's. Did Terry move down? Yeah, Terry's on. Okay, and that'll take us to Gale. Right now, oh, I didn't move Neffy. One second, my apologies. Gale, you are on the 9th level with Bill. Neffy and Jinx are on. I'm not even going to count where the characters are. They're just where they are on the map. Neffy and Jinx are on the 8th level. Is Seamus? Nope. That's the Skullface Cultist is on the 7th level. Davros, Seamus, Terry, and the redheaded cultists are on the 6th level right now, and that's where the fight is. But everybody else kind of ran to get to where they are, and that's on you now, Gale. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I think he's just gonna. I think like Yeah, no, Gale is gonna dash. Like, try to get down as fast as possible. I think Bill will try to go down like one level and take 2 shots at the thing if he can.
Excellent.
What was the dexterity check for the ladders?
Yeah, dex check on ladder movement. You need a 10. And
Ooh, that's a 6 on Gale.
alrighty, so make a athletics check. Alright, so Gale is free falling. Do you would have dashed.
Yeah, I was dashing.
Yeah, I think what happened beforehand. So I'm gonna say you still have your action as you're falling, but you're falling from the level you started from, so you're not like already covering some distance. That's why I should make you roll twice instead of. But I don't like the idea of making you roll a bunch of times. You've got an action, but you are falling. I don't know if you have feather fall. I don't know if you have flight right now prepared, but you are falling from the 9th level of this place. What's Gale doing?
I'm not sure what he can do. He doesn't have anything. No flight, no feather fall, nothing. I guess he could try to catch himself again on a. But that no.
That's technically what that second one was your actual like try to catch.
Yeah.
So I think the other thought then would be you could like free action pull a rope and try to throw it to somebody and see if somebody can try to help you. But otherwise, Gale's basically about to fall to the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Yeah, it'd probably just be try to throw the rope to Bill, basically, because he's the one closest.
Gotcha. So we'll basically reduce Bill down to let me get a dexterity check from Bill to see if he is quick enough, and then athletics to see if he's able to hold on to it. I'll say that's quick enough, and then he needs an athletics to hold on to Gale. Um, should be good enough. So, how much does Gale weigh right now?
Let's
I
see.
don't think I asked Davros this, so let me just like reduce it to the same thing Davros did. Yep, I'm having you fall 4 stories. So we'll have you fall down 4 stories, and we'll just go with that. I think I should have made Davros take damage from falling. So you're gonna fall 4 stories and be directly below where Bill is. So you're gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. You're one level below them now.
Oh, that's one way to get down quickly.
And we're keeping Bill on that top level. So Gal just jumped a few levels. Alrighty. Now, the thing I haven't told you guys is that I've been rolling random encounters for every new level you go to. Or every time like somebody changes the level to see if they encounter something. Alrighty. So we're gonna go back to the top of the list to the armless Venom Thrall. And it's gonna try to attack. Well, let's actually test that real quick. It's not happy with Davros having to take his arm. It's going to swing at Davros for, I think that's a 15 to hit.
That will miss or go off his armor.
Yeah, +5, so it's a 14 actually. So yeah, it like you see as it like pushes this like stump into the the machine and like pushes off of it to like reach out towards you and like attack at you, but it's still just like a little bit short. And oh shit, I forgot they can bite even if they're not trying to like poison you. Bite. I'm gonna try to bite you with it too. Son of a bitch. And it's gonna go to Jinx. You are 2 levels above the action, Jinx. What would you like to do? And Terry is on the level of the action.
And Gale is hanging down 1 level below the action?
Yeah, Gale is 1 level below, hanging from Bill, who's 1 level above you.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing again, go down 2 more levels?
Gotcha. So acrobatics. Alright, so this will be for full damage, so you'll just take 2d6 here.
Yeah, it was
4 damage.
11. Okay, so take 4 damage?
Oh, my bad. I forgot about the pluses. That still ends up being an 11. Yeah, I think that's acceptable. So, I just cleared it. Roll an odd or even. If it's an even, you take 2. Yeah, take 2 damage.
Okay, so just 2 total.
Yeah.
Okay, and then am I able to, like, reach Gale now? Like, reach down and try to pull him up? Or can I grab the rope and try to pull him up to the level back above?
From where you're at, like you're on the level of like the action. If you reach down, you could go prone and reach down to Gale and basically give him advantage to pull himself up to your level.
Okay, yeah, I'll spend my action to do that then.
Alrighty. And then what would you like to do with Terry?
Terry will double attack the armless creature.
Gotcha. So at this point, with you guys kind of saying that, you can have flanking, so a +2 as you guys are attacking. So the second attack.
Yeah, so 1 hit for 13 damage, magical. I don't know if it matters, I just say magical every time.
It's definitely good to remind me. So in the long run, it helps. But I think at this point, the general purpose is that you guys all have magical everything. There's random items that I think it's more almost important to like note which ones are non-magical, but I don't think it matters. Um, so this is where I should have. Let me do the same thing. Have each of you roll. Nefrindel needs to go down 2. So Chris, can you roll Neffy doing a dex check to go down 2? Um, the other cultists, they're kind of in good position. So let me just have them attack. So Justin Jinx roll a crossbow for a d20 and a d12. And then Justin Davros, can you roll 2 mace attacks? Like 2d20 and then what is it? Like 2d6s.
So it was 11 on the dice to hit. Is it +5 or more?
I think they're +4. Yeah, they're +2 actually on their heavy crossbow.
Okay,
So they
so
need a
then
14. Would you roll with either of those d20s from the red-headed cultist, Justin Davros?
Highest rolled was a 9.
9. All right, that's a 13. So big ol' misses from the cultists as they try to be effective. And that's going to take us to you with Davros.
All right, Davros is just going to keep swinging away at this thing. Um, to both should hit for 29 total.
Alrighty. So yeah, that'll definitely take it into where it's bloodied. What would you like to do with Seamus?
Yeah, Seamus, I think, is going to.
Now he's good to move if you wanted to break away from it. It could still attack him, obviously, but now Seamus at least has that option.
Okay, so he's no longer grappled.
Yeah, yeah. I just thought it was a cool idea that the hand was like psyching him out almost.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. So he's gonna move a little bit, and I think you've try maybe stab one more time as he's moving. That'll hit for nice 16 max damage for him.
Excellent. Should we go for the two of you? Gale, you are hinging. Jinx is reaching down to you. You can pull yourself up to his level with advantage on an athletics, or you can do something else. What would you like to do?
I will pull myself up with advantage. Hopefully. That is a 12.
Solid. It's got the negative.
I mean, I'm a wizard, not athletic.
I mean, when you've got like a plus 95 to your arcana, it's fun to make you do athletics checks that actually matter. Something that you can fail at. So you can pull yourself up there. That'll be your free action if you want. You can basically uh, use an action here, or you have like say half your movement as if you came from prone to kind of pull yourself up to actually like move around the map a little bit. But you are otherwise looking directly at the level where the fighting's happening.
Yeah, I mean, if I can see the fighting happening, I'm gonna sling a firebolt at that thing.
Excellent.
16 to hit for 16
Solid.
damage.
Excellent. And Bill from up above can see that he only needs to put an arrow into this thing and it will die. It is mortally wounded.
He will try.
Do or do not, Bill. A 7. Is that enough? Does he doesn't have a +9. There's no way.
No, he
Um,
only has +8. So 2
all right.
misses.
So I think I have Davros, Terry, and Seamus as targets right now.
Oh, but I mean, Bill will try to move down because he is still
Oh
like
yeah, definitely.
tied.
Yeah. Yeah. So just doing athletics there for his movement.
Oh,
He's got dex though. Oh, wait, yeah, yeah, athletics. No, yeah, it's a dex check, so he should be good with a 6 to not fall because it should be over a 10. Um, what was it? Do Davros again. Um, Claw 12 should be able to hit with a 15, 17.
Yep, that hits.
And it's gonna do 5 damage to you. And then this is why I do the claws before the bite, because the bite has advantage now as you are grappled and restrained, um, which is a 13 a hit.
That is not enough.
Alrighty. So yeah, it stabs into you, grapples and restrains Davros. This thing is clearly ready to die and has so very little happening still in its life, but it is trying to bite into Davros and inject him, and it's gonna go to Jinx. Oh, wait a second. Before I do that, I should have rolled this already. You can roll your stuff, Jinx, but I might have stuff happen beforehand.
Okay, no problem. So I'll just try to boomerang that creature to like finish it off.
And Bob went down one level, right?
Yeah, I mean he used his action to attack, so only one level.
All right. So let's see. Let me roll. Oh, I didn't keep. Ooh. Do you remember what your initiative was, Justin? 16?
Yeah, 16. That's right.
Davros, was your like 10, 12? Do you remember what you rolled? Did you roll like low?
It was pretty low. It was definitely lower than Jinx. I don't remember the exact number.
All right. Let me have each of you roll. It doesn't even matter. So when Bill clears the level, you see another creature like moving right up behind Bill. So at this point, Jinx, you have the option to go for the kill on the one that is attacking and grappling Davros. That one is mortally wounded, and like ready to die. But as Bill clears the level below and he makes it down to the 8th level, Jinx, you'll basically spot there's a creature from the 9th level that like leaps down after Bill.
Yeah,
You know
I'm
what I'm
going.
getting at?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going for the kill. I got a hit, and it's 8 damage total.
Excellent. Okay, perfect. So yeah, that'll kill that one, as this other one basically comes into view. Now, as far as like how you move, you're welcome to make some movement here, but otherwise you can move it on to Terry, and this thing is 2 levels above Terry.
Okay, so I think Terry is going to use his move to get under Bill in case, like, somehow Bill was to fall. He would be in position to like grab him as he falls by.
Sounds good to me. Just roll a d20. 10 or more, you can dash to get there. Yeah, you can dash to get there.
Okay, cool.
We're running out of space on that side of the board, but I'm going for that. One of the things I'm kind of getting at for how the bridges and the ladders are going to work is I'm basically going to have it be just a d20 roll. Like 10 or more, you can dash to get there. 15 or more, you can make it there with like a normal movement. If it's like 5 or less, you can't get there with a dash kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because it's just too hard to imagine all of these levels. So it's just let's put it to a die roll for how hard that movement on that level is, if that makes sense. So Neffy, what do you guys want to do with her? She's on the 8th level. She's on the same level as Bill. So she's right beside Bill almost. As this creature kind of comes up behind him as he makes it to the level. I think I've had Chris operating that one. Do you want to have Neffy attack it? Do you want to have Neffy help Bill another way? What would you like to do?
I think she'll attack it.
Gotcha. I think her primary attack is just a d20 roll, and then she does 2d6 poison. So roll the d20, and I think it's a +6.
That's a 9.
Um, yeah, let me actually see what I gave her as a plus, because that'll determine a lot. Yeah, +5, so it should be a +7, so that should be a hit. Roll 2d6. Oh wait, poison. My bad. We know this thing doesn't do poison. They have resistance to it. She can still attack it though. Wait, are they resistant to it? My bad. Roll 2d6 for me. Yeah, they're resistant to poison, but she can still damage it. So she'll still do 3 damage. And then in the center, Justin Jinx. You were controlling the redheaded one. Oh, no, that was Justin Davros. You were controlling the redheaded one. Will you attack with a crossbow? Yeah. D10 should. No, that's a miss. They got a +2. And then it's going to go to the thrall. And it's going after Bill right now. So and go for its claws. Should be able to hit, I believe, with both of those. Does he have a 15 or less armor?
He has 15.
Excellent. So yeah, both of them are going to hit. So let me get 2 con saves from you. You need 6 or more on both of them.
That's a roll 16 and 8.
Excellent. And then his next attack will be at advantage, which is going to be a 13, so it'll fail as it tries to bite him. And then that's going to take us to the cultist with the skull face. He is one below this. I think she'll move up and then attack. Can I have Justin? God, I forgot who was rolling which one of these cultists. Who was
Well, I
rolling
just
the
rolled the
last
last
one?
one, so Davros rolled
Okay,
for me.
yeah, Justin
Yeah.
Davros, will you roll a dexterity check for her movement? And then
He's having some trouble here.
all right, she's going up, so I'm just having her like stifled where she's not able to move. Make a crossbow attack with disadvantage here. You basically will need what, like a, yeah. So disadvantage 15. Oh, so close. Just kind of like deflects off of its armor, and it'll go to Davros.
All right, so Davros and Seamus are how many levels below the
2
rest?
levels, but you guys are across the way if you had any range stuff.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. So Davros is going to kind of move a little into try to get a better position, and he is going to launch a couple of javelins up at the creature. I don't know vertically. What's the distance? Would it be beyond 30
Not gonna
feet?
worry. No, not gonna worry about that.
Those are both going to miss anyway, though. One was a natural one, though, so I will take my advantage or inspiration back. But a 1 and a 4 rolled, both of those are going to miss. And then, yeah, Seamus. Yeah, I guess he'll try and throw another dagger. That should hit, unless he might be at disadvantage because he only gets 20 feet on a.
Just go for it. I think in the long run, I mean, I don't think the redheaded one is on the same level. Oh, it is. So let's say for no, because he could move through allies, so he can close the distance.
Oh yeah, I guess he could climb up. Yeah. Okay, and then he will deal.
Oh, he honestly also could climb up if he wanted to, because yeah, he's the thief. So, do you want to also take him to the 8th level, like where they're at?
Yeah, I figure. I mean, he's nimble enough, so yeah, he probably should. Yeah, he'll go up. And then,
Did you roll the damage for that? I think you already
oh yeah,
rolled hit, and that was a success.
yep. So damage will be 12.
And then that'll take us to Gale, who's now 2 below it. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing something. I'm not sure how this would work. My resilient sphere, the thing, and it has a 30 feet range, but it doesn't say I have to like see someone. It's just like within range. Could I potentially hit the Venom Thrall with that? Do you want me to like have at least vision on it?
That's a really weird one. I mean, in the long run, I think you can see enough of it to know that it's there, so I don't think there's any reason to hold you off from doing it.
And then this question, because I'm not sure I got it, but is Bill grappled by it after getting hit?
Yeah, Bill is grappled and restrained.
And how would? Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll find out how this will work after if it fails. So yeah, I'm gonna use the spear to try to like encapsulate.
Yeah,
It.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I think if it fails this, it's going to cut the bonds between him.
Yeah, it's a DC 16 saving throw.
And that's not going to be successful.
Yeah,
And I think that's actually where we're going to stop things here. We're going to pick up with this after you guys deal with what you have with this. Because I think part of where we're going to like recognize here is that you guys know that these thralls are controlled creatures. Part of why the cultists are creating them is to make like complete and utter slaves that are ruled by their orders. You guys have started to notice that there's these creatures patrolling this machine, and at this point you kind of know that there's one creature on each of these levels kind of patrolling as a guard, and you guys have tripped 3 of these guards from the 10th level, the top, the ninth level, and the 5th level. So you guys know that the 3 levels that you are on still have guards, and then the 4 levels below you, like to the bottom, still have guards. That there are likely still 7 more of these creatures patrolling around the outside of this machine. And I think with the Autolute's resilient sphere, that's a perfect time for us to stop it here. With you guys kind of in like this almost breath. And there's like kind of a moment to like pause and sort of recognize like what this multi-level marketing machine might be doing, and like the guard situation around it. Does that sound pretty legit to you guys? Or do you want to continue on? Does everybody want to play for a little bit more?
I mean, stopping now works for me.
Gotcha. I felt like that was a really good stop with Chris's spell there, so I think that works. I don't know. In the past, I know I've done some multi-level stuff where I had like a side of the map for the levels that everybody's on and give everybody 2 tokens. I think I'm gonna do that for this map. I was not even considering how quickly this was going to become a multi-level battle. There's like side maps. That's why I have it on this map that we're on right now. I haven't shown you guys, but like there's different levels where there's different things that you can go and do. I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna obviously play this map exactly how it's written in the book. Nothing crazy or unforeseen's gonna happen.
And Davros is still on the level that Davros fell onto originally. He's still on that level, right? So there's still that door that he hasn't looked at yet or
Yep,
gone into
correct.
yet. Okay. But I guess now he's alone again on this level because Seamus has clambered back up.
Well, no, I think right now I've got right now in my note for verticality, I have Seamus,
The last
Nephi, Bill, and the venom shaped thrall on the 8th level. The skull face cultist is on the 7th level. Gale, Davros, Perry, and the redheaded cultist and Jinx are on the 6th level. So I basically have you guys on 2 levels with one of the cultists between.
Okay. Yeah, I must have lost track of a couple level changes. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about that. It's been crazy. So I think we're all set there. I'm gonna try to take some good notes real quick. I know I needed a restroom break like pretty soon here, anyways. But yeah, I'm gonna try to keep a note of this. Some of the stuff that I homebrewed, like on how to do the things, I want to keep a note of because I feel like some of it worked out pretty well, and I want to make sure it stays consistent here. But yeah, I think this is an ideal place, and I hope you guys had fun because it's definitely reaching some like crazy points in the battle and in the mission. So
Yeah, yeah. No, I definitely like the kind of the called shot idea where you give up, it's less likely, but you can maybe have some, obviously can't do it with like, not going to make sense all the time, but in this particular instance with the thing grabbing Seamus, I like the idea of just trying to like, yeah,
yeah, it was I don't know, it felt like real good and natural at that time. And then it's one of those things where like they have 12d10 plus 36 hit points. And I've been rolling for their hit points to at least make them a little bit different one from the other. Um, but like calling 25 was basically like saying you got to do a quarter of its life in one like attack round too. So I felt like it was a pretty good idea to say like this is a way to cut off its arm. I thought about it in hindsight where I should have at least let it still do an arm attack and just make it an improvised weapon. So it's just hitting you with its bloody stump.
yeah, yeah. Well, because I think trolls are somewhat like if you deal enough damage to like the 5e, just the standard monster manual troll. I think if you deal enough damage in one round, you don't get to like pick what you're trying to do, but like you can like cut off an arm or cut off a leg or something, and then obviously the troll it grows back.
Hydras.
But
Hydras. I think the Hydra is something that you. Oh wait, no. There's definitely a creature that has that, where you have to deal enough damage to get past its resistance. I feel like Hydras are one of the creatures, but also fire. I think fire affects Hydras and trolls. But I vaguely know what you're talking about there, where it's like do enough damage and it doesn't get this or whatever.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, always a pleasure to have you guys. It's definitely interesting adapting every single time to like the new setup. But I feel like I'm getting better and better in this location. I hope you guys have fun. This is definitely a pretty cool, weird, and um, I don't know, wild mission.
yeah. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. It's always fun to have like the extra like risk of like falling and like different level combats and stuff going on.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird like culmination though, where it's just like, yeah, this is almost like a constant combat kind of thing. But I feel like that's also one of those things where we're like getting late in a campaign. You almost kind of have to have that like ramp up towards something big where it just feels like you're in an epic combat slog. I feel like slog's kind of like already kind of a negative or pejorative, but
But this also just like this setup with like the different levels and kind of like the scaffolding and stuff also some kind of gives me alien vibes. The creature just kind of like coming out and like reaching up and clawing out or dropping from up top, up top or yeah, and like all the machinery and kind of exposed wires and cables and such. I probably with the machine.
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely has that alien vibes.
It was funny that we had the conversation about like, is this place steampunkish, like Eberron? And then like I'm just like, I mean, this is like the culmination of the steampunk. That's part of what the chaos tech is meant to be. Is it's like the introduction of steampunk to this because I think Eberron was created in fourth edition. So I think Monty Cook created Tolis in third edition that he was playing it for like the Wizards of the Coast like people, and then he created the Dungeon Master Guide in fourth edition when they commissioned the person to create the world of Eberron. Like they had a huge contest, and Eberron's the world that existed that like won the contest. So that's part of the reason why I think the chaos tech in this is almost honoring that guy by saying like we never even thought about this. So that's why, like, once Eberron existed, we're going to add this to our world. So I think that's why Chaos Tech kind of exists in Tolus, is it's like the recognition that now Eberron exists. So we're going to add the steampunk stuff, but it's almost like a side. And this machine, at least, is definitely like, this is the fucking steampunk right here. Because this thing's definitely meant to be like loud. There's like steam pipes like bursting off here and there. It's definitely meant to be that like steampunk kind of moment. The surgeon in the shadows. That's who I was trying to think of when I said like this is like the steampunk guy. He's like kind of the start of like reminding you about chaos tech.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like the idea of that. It's sort of like the prequel for like the actual Eberron.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just like adding it in like as flavor. Like, so Monty Cook didn't have to like start a new campaign, but he also didn't have to play without Eberron stuff. Because
Well,
in
I think when
Wild,
you
the thing,
put like the chaotic like nature and like the magic into like the machine, it sort of like incorporates two what would normally be considered like independent things into like sort of one, which I think makes a lot more sense because like in a magical world, it's like not crazy to think that like you would have machines that would do stuff that like don't normally do. Like for instance, like anti-gravity like ship or something like that. You know what I mean?
definitely don't write down that exact thought of when you put the magic and the chaos in the machine. That definitely does not have any significance at all. And especially not towards the door. But yeah, this is a fun spot that we're at, and you guys definitely know next to nothing about it. So it's a cool like moment of all right, we got like 7 more of these. We've got this great mystery of the door ahead of us. There's a lot of cool things like kind of culminating in this moment.
All right, guys. Well, it's been fun as always. I'll catch y'all next week. Have a good one. Appreciate the hosting.
Yeah, yeah. Hope you feel better. Get over to the last of that COVID soon.
Yeah, hopefully. I think I sneezed a total of like 4,000 times during this game. So,
Well, I appreciate the push to talk then because I didn't hear any of them, and thank you very much.
oh, that's good. There was definitely a couple where I wasn't sure if it came through or not. So,
Yeah, I didn't hear it either. So
Well, I was playing in a campaign with this guy, like said he caught COVID on like the second or third game, and every single game afterwards, he was coughing into the mic at least 100 times in 4 hours. Just like, are you ever not coughing? Do you ever? Are you ever able to breathe? No. Everybody be well. Have a good night. I'm about to log out here.
yep. Night, guys. Catch you next week.
Yeah, night. See you in a week.